Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of True Crime and Whatnot. I have another very special guest for us tonight. Today's guest is none other than, drumroll please, I don't have a set of drums, one of my best and longest friends. She is not a true crime junkie, but she lets me torment her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely.
She has no idea what she's in store for.
Not at all.
So without further ado, meet Brittany.
Hi. And some of you may also know me as Hemi or Hemriana from Twitch.
Yes, ma'am.
Carry on.
So I have deliberately kept information on this case from you. Would you agree with that, Brittany?
Yeah, I mean, any case, really. You could talk to me about a case and I still would look at you like during the headlights when you told it to me again. So.
This is true. You are that much of not a true crime junkie. That's right. It would definitely be able to tell you a story a couple of times.
Yep. I feel like that's me with anything, though. Like, I gotta watch a movie 10 times before I absorb all information.
I don't believe that, because if it's Harry Potter, you pretty much have it.
Well, those are books. So I read the books like 2 or 3 times and then saw the movies and then picked them apart. And that's a whole nother story for another day.
So today's episode is more about reaction than the story itself.
Oh, fun.
Now, the story itself is it's not a fun story, but your reactions to things are fun for me.
Yay.
So I'm not gonna lie, there may be there's good possibility that there may be a slip up with a curse word or two, so please, I will try to edit, but just keep that in mind.
It's like you have to tell them about me. You're like, this is so you have to forewarn your friends or your parents before they meet somebody.
Brittany is the friend you don't put on speaker.
That is true. I'm definitely that friend.
Part of the warning tonight is going to be, please do not eat during this episode. Warning. The following case depicts details regarding murder and cannibalism. Listener discretion is greatly advised. So let's start off this episode with some backstories. And we're going to start with our victim first. Timothy Richard.
I said, I feel like I should take notes.
There will be a quiz.
Hit me.
Timothy Richard McLean Jr. was born October 3rd, 1985, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. He was a carnival worker in Edmonton, Canada, and had just found out he was going to be a father.
Aww.
Vince Lee was born April 30th, 1968, in China. In 1992, he graduated from the Wuhan Institution of Technology with a bachelor's in computing. He worked in Beijing as a computer software engineer until he immigrated to Canada in June of 2001. He became a Canadian citizen on November 7th, 2006. In 2004, he worked a lot of menial jobs at Grant Memorial Church in Winnipeg for 6 months to support his wife, Anna. Now, according to the pastor, he was very committed to doing a good job, even with a language barrier. During the spring of 2005, he quit the job at the church to begin a forklift position somewhere else. And his wife was a waitress. And during this time, he would begin believing he was under attack from an alien invasion.
I'm sorry. Aliens.
Yes. He became so paranoid, he began carrying a buck knife for protection. This knife will be the weapon used to end the life of an unsuspecting Tim McLean. So, Britt, how you doing so far?
Well, see, because you said we're starting with victims. I literally am writing this down, by the way. So I thought he was a victim, which I guess, is he gonna say the aliens made him did it? Do it? Whatever. So you had me up until the weapon, and so is he our killer?
He is.
Okay.
Yes.
So
there's only one victim and only one killer.
Oh. Okay.
But this story is going to get very frustrating very quick.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you ready to keep going?
I mean, go ahead.
All right. In 2005, Lee was committed to the William Osler Health Center after police stopped him while he was walking. He told them he was following the sun. Despite popular belief, he was never diagnosed with any mental illness and therefore was never given medication for it. He moved to Edmonton in 2006 after leaving his wife alone in Winnipeg. Eventually, she would join him. He was a very hard worker. He worked a lot of odd jobs, and he worked at Walmart, McDonald's. He was a janitor, a mechanic. He even delivered the newspaper. So, 4 weeks before the quote-unquote incident, he was fired from Walmart after having a heated argument with a coworker.
At Walmart.
Yeah, right? He then asked for time off from the delivery job to go to a job interview in Winnipeg. On July 28th, 2008, he boarded a Greyhound bus around noon. At 6 p.m. on July 29th, he got off the bus in Erickson. According to witnesses, he had 3 pieces of luggage with him and spent the entire night on the bench at the bus stop. At 3 a.m., he was seen sitting upright with his eyes wide open.
Okay.
On the morning of July 30th, he sold a brand new laptop to a 15-year-old for $60.
Soda bread. Where'd he have that? In his bag?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That same laptop would soon be seized by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police as evidence.
Okay.
Don't worry about the laptop, because there was a businessman who replaced it anonymously for the young man. So he got him a good laptop.
So, well, okay.
Because, that was important.
Right? Like, you're like, oh, he sold the laptop, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It was taken for evidence, but don't worry about it.
I can honestly say that in all of my research, the laptop is never brought up again. Never.
I was sitting here thinking maybe he had alien research on it. Area 51 wanted that.
They never bring it up again.
Oh, okay.
We're already 3 days in to his bus ride.
Okay.
At 6:55 p.m. on July 30th, Greyhound bus 1170 left the bus stop carrying a new passenger who was described as a tall man with a shaved head and sunglasses, and he appeared to be in his 40s. Now, this is Mr. Vince Lee. Tim McLean was sitting near the back of the bus, one row up from the restroom, while Lee started out sitting near the front of the bus. After a scheduled rest stop in the city of Brandon, the passengers would reboard the bus. This time, Lee would sit beside McLean in the back. Tim barely acknowledged him, and eventually he fell asleep with his headphones on and his head resting against the window pane. Suddenly, Lee pulled his buck knife out and began stabbing Tim in the neck and chest. According to the witnesses that were present, and I quote, "There was no rage or anything. He was like a robot stabbing the guy." End quote.
Okay.
After the attack began, the driver of the bus pulled to the side of the road and evacuated everyone except for Lee and Tim. The driver and two other men attempted to rescue Tim, but were chased away by Lee as he started to slash at them from behind the locked doors of the bus. At this point, Lee ended up decapitating Tim and then displayed the detached head to everyone outside of the bus.
Oh my god.
He actually held it up by the hair and walked the bus with it.
Is this a scene out of a movie?
No, this really happened.
Because that's what it feels like. That's my crime stuff, not true crime. It's the fake crime that you see on television.
Well, you really need to go back and listen to one of the episodes then, because I talk about that.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True crime in Hollywood.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So then he returns to the body and he begins to sever even more body parts. And this is where he starts to eat some of the flesh.
Gross.
Yeah. By 8:30 p.m., the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, had received a call about a stabbing on a Greyhound bus in Portage La Prairie. They arrive to find the suspect and victim still on board. At this point, the bus is disabled. The driver was able to initiate the emergency immobilizer because Lee had tried to leave the scene with the bus.
Well.
Yeah. The passengers were all huddled at or near the side of the road. Some were crying, others were vomiting due to, the gruesome violence. And by 9 p.m., police were in a standoff with Vince Lee, and they had summoned special negotiators and basically their version of the SWAT team. Lee would alternate between mutilation and pacing the bus. The officers actually observed him eating parts of the body. At this
I can't
point,
imagine seeing that in person.
I know.
Like, hearing about it is one thing, but watching it, no. I can't even watch TV shows that have that sort of thing in it.
And he's not cooking it.
Well, no, he's on a bus.
Right. It's raw. So
But
it's like even grosser than, or even more gross than it would typically be. Yes, I had to correct my own grammar.
you're fine. No, you just reminded me of the other night. You're fine. We can talk about that later. Oh man.
At this point, the stranded passengers are transported to the Brandon RCMP detachment to be interviewed. According to the officers, they had heard Lee say, "I have to stay on the bus forever."
Mm.
At 1:30 a.m. on July 31st, because this has been going on almost 12 hours now,
Right.
Lee attempted to escape by breaking a window out. He was arrested soon after that. He was tased twice, handcuffed, and then placed in the back of a cruiser. The victim's body parts were gathered into plastic bags. His ear, nose, and tongue were found in Lee's pocket. His eyes and part of his heart were never located. It is assumed
I bet I could find them.
they were consumed, even though Lee denies eating any part of him.
Of course he does.
But remember, the officer saw him eating him.
Right.
So,
And
yeah, they got him on that. At 10 a.m., Greyhound reps took the stranded passengers to a local store to replace their luggage that was still on the bus. They did not replace their luggage. What they did was they actually just bought everybody one outfit each. And then they took them and reunited them in Winnipeg with their loved ones. This has been going on for a while. This whole trial thing has.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're still in and out of court on this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you said 2000, what was it, 8?
Uh-huh.
I was trying to, because like I said, I took notes, because my brain doesn't withhold information to save anything. So it looked like our victim was roughly 23 and 22, 23, and our killer about 40.
Yes.
So, and you brought up alien invasion. I'm still waiting to go back to that.
Oh, we're coming to it.
Oh, well, okay. Carry on.
So the trial begins on March 3rd, 2009. Lee appeared in court for second-degree murder charges. Second degree, not first.
I'm definitely in dunce. I don't know the degrees and what they mean, so
First degree.
Made fun of in your comment section. Go ahead.
I don't have a comment section, so
well,
there you go.
Go for it.
But first degree murder is if you have, you know how they tell you to count to 10 before you do anything?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. If you do that and then you kill somebody, that is considered premeditation. I'm not kidding. If you have 1 second to think about it, it's premeditation.
Oh, well, okay.
Second degree murder takes the premeditation out of it. That's the only difference.
So because he just instinctively
killed someone.
That was second degree.
Yes.
Okay.
During his trial, the only words that he said were, "Please kill me."
Oh, what was he going through?
He pleaded not criminally responsible on account of a mental disorder.
But he wasn't diagnosed with anything.
Correct. But this means that he accepted that he did actually commit the murder, but did not accept the responsibility for the act. So he had to talk to a psychiatrist, which all murderers do.
Mm-hmm.
And the psychiatrist working for the defense stated that schizophrenia rendered him inculpable because he believed that McLean was a force of evil and posed an imminent threat to himself and to others. In Vince Lee's mind, Tim McLean was a demon in disguise and an alien that needed to be destroyed. He believed he had to kill him to keep him, well, he believed he had to mutilate him to keep him from coming back. And he also believed he was hearing voices from God telling him to kill Tim or he would be killed himself. Now, what's really, really odd and rare about this is both the prosecution and the defense were in agreement with the psychiatrist. So they all favored involuntary committal to the mental institution other than prison. The judge accepted the diagnosis and he ruled he was not criminally responsible. Tim's family brought a $150,000 lawsuit against Greyhound, Vince Lee, and the Attorney General of Canada. On June 3rd, 2010, and this is where it's going to start getting really frustrating, Vince Lee was granted supervised walks outside the mental health facility. On February 16th, 2011, two of the passengers filed a lawsuit against Vince Lee, RCMP, the Canadian government, and Greyhound for being exposed to the beheading. They each asked for $3 million. However, in July of 2015, they both dropped the suit.
I mean, 3 million's kind of
little steep, don't you think?
A little steep there, but how much do you think a cannibal has? Look, okay.
Especially when it's working that many jobs.
Well, maybe no. So no, I'm just kidding. Oh boy.
So in May of 2011, it was reported he was responding well to medications. His doctor recommended he receive more liberties to be phased out over several months. Canada has a really weird justice system. It's weird to us because, we're so used to, they have a mental problem, lock them up behind bars for life. We have that kind of mentality here. Okay. We're really the only country that does that.
Okay.
So keep that in mind as we're talking.
Okay.
In July 2012, he was granted temporary passes that enabled him to go into the nearby town with a nurse and an officer. Mm-mm. He spoke publicly for the first time, affirming his guilt, and stated he could never forget the incident and believes he will never be happy again. He even acknowledged that the McLean family would never forgive him.
Well, yeah.
He offered an apology to Tim's mother, stating, "I am sorry for killing your son. I am sorry for the pain I have caused. I wish I could reduce the pain." In 2014, it was announced that Lee would receive unsupervised visits to town, starting in 30-minute increments and then increasing to full-day trips. In July of the same year, The Toronto Sun reported that the first officer to arrive on the scene had died due to suicide. In his obituary, the family stated he suffered from PTSD from the incident.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're increasing his time. No, no. No.
Oh, it's just going to get worse, honey.
Mm.
Starting now, in February 2016, it was reported Vince Lee changed his name to Will Baker and was seeking to leave his group home to live independently.
No.
He was granted that wish on February 26th.
What the?
In February 2017, the Criminal Code Review Board ordered Lee be fully discharged. He was granted an absolute discharge, meaning he had no legal obligations or living restrictions anymore. Tim's son was born on December 21st, 2008, 5 months after his father's murder. So, are you still with me?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you mad yet?
Is this man still alive?
I'm assuming he is, but they don't know where he's at.
Fun.
Yeah, they have no clue where he's at.
Yay.
Because they don't.
I wanted to have trouble sleeping tonight.
Well, you know, for those that don't, well, if you don't follow Brittany on Twitch, then you're not going to know this. But Brittany actually has a 1-year-old, and he's not sleeping very well lately. So she's not going to sleep tonight anyway.
Listen. Man.
Yeah, I called you out.
Big facts, though. I'm watching.
It really is.
I'm watching him on the baby monitor this entire time I'm in here, and he's laying on his belly, kicking his feet, like, "What you doing?" Like, almost like he can see me through the camera, which is kind of creepy, actually. But you know.
So I want to try to explain a few things about what we've talked about.
Okey-doke.
So the Canadian government believes in second chances and rehabilitation, especially if you commit a crime and you have a mental illness. It's not like here in the U.S. Where, you know, we just lock you up and throw away the key. They are very big on trying to get you help and making you a, what's the right word I'm looking for? Just making you able to function in society.
Which I agree with, and I like that. However, the man ain't people.
Exactly. That's actually what I was going to say. I feel like there should be an exception to the rule here. I don't think he should have been allowed to change his name. And I don't think that, you know, I feel like they should know where he's at all times.
Not me about to Google Will Baker. Like, what?
So, give us your takeaway from all of this. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Because you've let me kind of do most of the talking.
Well, it's your podcast. you be doing the talking. You already kind of know, man. I'm not okay with that. That is like I said, I like that they want to rehabilitate people. That's okay, cool. But did they miss what they were?
So you feel like there should be like a minimum of what you can do before you just get the rehabilitation and not the consequences of your actions.
Right. Like, okay, yeah, I get your rehabilitation, but you still messed up, buddy. Like, when it's something to that extreme, like, this isn't like he, I don't know, was doing drugs or was drunk and like stole a candy bar. I don't know, I'm making shit up, but I'm making stuff up as I'm trying to, because I don't have a great example. But it's not like that. Like, it's not like, I'm trying to think of something that's not as bad as like murder and cannibalism.
Like being drunk and disorderly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's not like that and they throw you in rehab and then go, okay, you're out on your own again. Like, no. He lost his mind, was thinking he saw like aliens, cut a guy's head off, stabbed him repeatedly, was eating him, and he wasn't strategic or anything about it, like just sitting on a bus. Like, it wasn't even like, I guess that would have been the premeditated part then. If he would have like tried to sneak about it. Like, that was not a stealth mission.
I watched a video about it, and there were witnesses who were trying to describe Tim McLean's screams.
Ugh.
And I just can't even imagine. I mean, all of those people, Greyhound had to pay for them to have therapy, and like,
now that's not really Greyhound's fault, but I get it. Like, that's a good thing that they did that, but that wasn't, like, why did they have to pay?
Because somebody has to take part of the blame. It happened on their property. So it's like if I were to come to your house and I killed your neighbor in your yard, there's a good chance you are still liable for it. You can be at fault just as much because you let me onto your property. Does that make sense?
Let you.
I
mean, I wouldn't let you. But they would, but I would be unknowing. I'd be an unknowing victim.
Doesn't matter.
You know? Like, that's what Greyhound is. They didn't know they picked up a killer.
Exactly.
That's whack.
I know, right?
So
it's crazy. It's crazy the way the wording is on a lot of the legal documents and things. And there's a lot of small print that people don't even realize goes into all of that and into owning a business. But that was our case for today. It wasn't too crazy bad. I didn't go into crazy detail.
Drop my pen.
I went into more detail with you than I normally would.
Yeah, I figured as much.
You can tell we've been friends for a long time because you let me torment you.
Yeah. You come in on my cozy stream of building. I stream The Sims primarily on Twitch there, and you'll pop in on Build Mode Mondays usually, and talk to my chat about cases. And you like to get all kinds of wild in there too.
It's fun. It's fun when you find like-minded people that actually want to have details, and they want to go into detail and find out why people do what they do, which is why I do this.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing. That's why I love doing stuff like this.
I just want to know why. I know they give a why, but it's not a satisfactory why to me, because there's not I want to know where he's at. I mean, he could be in the U.S.
Well, I did a quick Google search just because, and all it says, yeah, you're laughing, but it's true. I didn't even click on a website. I just went to like the Google homepage. It was like Will Baker, Canada. And it's like, where is he now? And it just says since November. I don't know. It didn't give me a year. That said that he's living on his own in Winnipeg, but has been subjected to several conditions, including monitoring to ensure he was taking his medication, which I think you touched on. And then it says on February, which I think you also said, was granted the absolute discharge by the Criminal Code Review Board. Well, that's 20.
But how did... My thing is, how do they know that he's still taking his meds?
Oh, right. Well,
that's kind of a necessity. He needs those meds. If he doesn't take them, this is going to happen again.
Now that he's been granted, no, but before then he was probably submitted to like urinalysis and stuff.
But like now,
there's nobody telling him he has to take it.
Right.
What if he liked the way he felt before?
What happened to his wife?
They never mention her again.
Huh.
But would you really want to be connected to somebody that ate somebody?
No, but there is also such a thing as like Stockholm Syndrome.
This is true.
Like,
this is true.
Take a brief, not nearly to this degree, but example of my last relationship. It took me a very long time before I was like, done.
Yes, it did.
So, but that's neither here nor there.
And that's really hard to witness because I got to actually witness that, and it was not fun for me to watch. So it's been nice seeing you happy.
But it is a learning thing, like you learn from those. It's like everyone's always like, oh, if you could go back in time, what would you change? Blah 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 blah. And yeah, there might be minor things I might want to change, but honestly nothing, because if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm gonna start looking that up. Where's Anna?
So I want to give a special thank you to our guest, and we will have her back very soon. Join us for a very special Halloween/birthday episode featuring Brittany on October 31st.
Yay.
I promise you this next episode will be more psychological than gross.
Well, I thought of this in the beginning of this one. When you mentioned alien invasion, I was so caught up in the term that I forgot to ask if this was a true crime or a whatnot. Obviously, it was a true crime, but yeah. Is the next one a whatnot?
No, it's a true crime.
Oh, well, neat.
It really happened, and you brought up Hollywood. There are movies regarding this next case.
Oh, yay. So I may or may not know about it?
It's possible.
Okay. Well, hey.
But if you guys like Twitch, head over and follow Brittany, as she has her very own channel called, and let me make sure I'm saying it right, Hemriana's Corner?
Yes. So I have my own Discord community, Hemriana's Corner. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok at Hemriana. Should I spell that?
Yes, please do.
So at Hemriana, that is Hemirianna. Hemi. Everyone calls me Hemi. So Hemi and then Rihanna. Rianna. And yeah, I primarily stream The Sims 4. I recently got a capture card so I can do more stuff from games that I play on my Xbox as well. On Mondays, I usually do Build Mode Mondays, and Tanya here does join me on occasion. When she doesn't join me, I usually play an episode of the podcast. So while I build something on The Sims.
It's become Build Mode Monday and True Crime Podcast Monday.
I put Build Mode Monday with True Crime and Whatnot. That's the whole title right there. And then, the rest of the week's just kind of tossed in the air on what it is. I do have a fancy chaos wheel for my Sims. That gets fun. You guys can kind of like crowd control, kind of tell me what to do with my game sort of thing. It's a lot of fun.
It really is fun. I enjoy watching you build stuff because you've gotten to where you're really good at it, and I'm trying to steal some of your ideas. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, that's fine. Every Build Mode Monday, everything that I build on Build Mode Monday, I upload it to the gallery. And again, in the gallery on The Sims, I'm at Henriana. I'm Henriana everywhere. So if you want, you can do it too, Tanya. If there's anything in there. Now, I do have every single one of the packs. And honestly, I should do a challenge. Maybe I'll do this next Build Mode Monday, where it's just base game stuff so that anyone who doesn't have all of the expansion packs and everything can download the house as well. I just like to use all of the things to decorate.
All the things.
So anyhow.
So I have some goals myself, and Brittany has been so kind as to help me kind of try to figure out what I want to do. So I'm asking, please remember to like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever you have to do. But especially you want to follow the podcast on Spotify, because the goals for Spotify are 50 followers, and I'll do a sour candy challenge. 100 followers, I'll do Bean Boozled.
I got beans.
I hate Bean Boozled. And if we get monetized, which means we've had 1,000 listeners in 60 days from 1,000 different devices, then I will do a spicy challenge.
Hang on. Devices or accounts?
It says devices.
I'm about to pull you up on my computer, on the phone, on the tablet. Yes, ma'am. On the Xbox. I'm pretty sure there's Spotify on there. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I got 2 Xboxes. I got a Switch. Man, you about to get lit.
She's trying to kill me, y'all. I do not have a gallbladder anymore.
Woo.
But yeah, that's the goal now for Spotify, is those 3 challenges. And if you want to see those when they happen, you want to go to the True Crime and Whatnot Facebook page and follow us there, because I will be doing lives. I have really got to get back into doing those, but I have been crazy busy on Wednesdays, the last 2 Wednesdays, and I have either forgotten or it has been crazy late when I got home. So I haven't been able to do them.
Come on, guys, hype her up, all right? We need to get her on those. Okay?
Yes.
Don't let her fool you.
I am camera shy. I am also camera shy.
You are. But that's why you chose podcasting, and that's fine.
Yes. And then I have you, and you play the podcast for me, so I don't have to be on camera.
Ooh, snap. I'm going to have to change my game up.
Oh, no. I gave her an idea.
Bam. Guesting. Turn your cam on.
So, guys, until next time, stay true and whatnot.
Yes,
we'll see you later.